Bayonetta 2 is the latest title from an acclaimed studio famous for their action games, Platinum Games. Is this sequel worth your time? Stick with this review to find out. Bayonetta 2 follows the story of a witch, Cereza, aka Bayonetta, as she traverses to the mountain Fimbulventr to reach the gates of hell in order to save her friend Jean. On your journey you'll meet and see different characters, most from previous entries like Jean, Luca, Enzo and my favorite, the demon trader of goods, Rodin. The story is great and acted very well. It's told through pre-rendered cutscenes and comic book style cutscenes. It's extremely stylish and awesome. They often feature over-the-top action and heavily sexualized scenes of the main character, Bayonetta. Platinum Games is famous for their combat, and it's the same story here. The combat is top-notch quality, fast-paced, relentless, and adrenaline-inducing. This is a spectacle fighter game, and this is a genre that has almost died. This game is similar in gameplay to Devil May Cry, which isn't surprising considering that the director of the game, Hideki Kamiya, was responsible for that particular game in the past. It's his creation. You got your light attacks, heavy attacks, combos, and tough as nails bosses and mini-bosses. The most important mechanic is of course the witch time. If you dodge an incoming attack at the last moment possible, you activate witch time, which slows down time for enemies and not you. This is the most important thing to master in the game. You can also buy power-ups like health, magic, shield in the form of lollipops. Yeah, lollipops. You can also buy different weapons, power-ups, necklaces and plenty more. You buy all of these items at your friend Rodin's place in Hell. You heard that right, in Hell. You travel to Hell via portals you find in levels, allowing you to conveniently stock up on stuff before a boss battle. Also, you can find portals to Trials of Muspelheim. These are challenge arenas, and as a reward you can get different items and also power-ups. Bayonetta 2 levels are as linear as they come, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is an action hack-and-slash game with an old-school design. Also, you can travel very fast by turning Bayonetta into a cougar, or in water sections you can turn her into a snake. The game simply oozes with style, from its combat to its wacky cast of characters. It's simply brilliant. Speaking of style, I love the finishers you can pull off in the game. They range from beheading someone with a guillotine to mashing someone to giblets with a rotary wheel. It's good stuff. A big part of the game are the boss battles. They can be tough as nails. This is not an easy game and will definitely test your combat prowess. The campaign will probably take you around 10 hours to complete, and that's not including the secret chapters and collecting everything. Graphically speaking, the game looks amazing. It has solid graphics and an incredible art style. Definitely one of those style over the amount of pixels scenarios. Officially, the game is available on the Wii U and Nintendo Switch. Unofficially, it's available on PC as well. How, you ask? Through a Wii U emulator called CEMU. This is the way I play the game. I have an i7-47770 Haswell, 16GB of RAM, SSD and a Vega 64, and it's completely playable from start to finish. The emulator crashed once on me, and that's it. Sometimes the audio in cutscenes will get out of sync, which is easily repairable by restarting the emulator and the game. That's pretty much it in terms of bugs. There are no shadows present in the game. The emulator is simply not advanced yet, but it's very playable. CEMU requires some fiddling around to get it working. It's not as straightforward as Dolphin emulator, for instance. You need to find an ISO file of Bayonetta 2, which is shady business and in the worst case, illegal. You need to extract the game key from that ISO and input it in CEMU. Then you need the Wii U common key. Once the game is working, you have to fiddle around with settings to make it work properly. Search Bayonetta 2 CEMU wiki for detailed information. So it's not easy, but if you don't have a Nintendo hardware and you really want to play this, it's the only way. And frankly, the game is worth the hassle. You also need a beefy rig. I recommend at least 8GB of RAM and an overclocked i5 Sandy bridge as a minimum. You also will need a half-decent modern GPU. RX 560 would suffice, I guess. Bayonetta 2 is one of the best games I've played in years. I love Hideki Kamiya's work, and Bayonetta 2 is a perfect example of his and Platinum Games' talent. It's relentless action, tough as nail boss battles, and a great style overall, and it's really something else. If you're in a mood for some quality challenging gameplay, look no further than Bayonetta 2. If I had to give a score to this game, I'd give it 10 out of 10.